Yep, nice and easy. We're done with that though. And the jump rope. Yeah. Whenever I skip rope, I can't use these wireless headphones. They fall right out of my ears. So of course, it would be helpful if I could get the rope itself not to fall out of my hands. Finish my protein shake and then we'll hit this. New name, who this? Yes, sir. For those of you who don't know me, my name is BullMuscle. For those of you who know me as Beer Battered Ag, yes, I'm going through a rebrand. This seems like a pretty good time to talk about that, so let's go ahead and talk about it. I'm a die-hard Aggie.
The eyes of Texas are upon you. That is the song they sing so well. Sounds like hell! So goodbye to Texas University. We're gonna beat you all to chigga-roo-ga-rim, rough, tough, real stuff, Texas A&M. Goodbye.
We get a little bit more all. So why can't I click all? Oh, yeah, there it goes. Nice. Alright, let's do one more bronze bar. If you adopt the mindset, and this is a quote from Jacob Fisker of Early Retirement Extreme, if you know that guy, 10 points to you. But it's a quote that I find unbelievably poignant in today's era. Spending money represents a failure to solve one's problems by smarter means. I'm gonna repeat that. Spending money represents a failure to solve one's problems by smarter means. That's painful. But yes, my friends, pure protein, as theirs makes no difference, from raw egg whites. It's disgusting, the taste is vile, and it smells, but 100. Yeah, my poor roommate has to deal with the farts that come from this, and as you might imagine, they're not pleasant. But let me go ahead and knock this bad boy down. Good morning, everyone. Welcome on in. Good to see you share. We're gonna get started. Today is October 6th, 2023. We've got ourselves a great stream, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be a good one. Today we got pull day, so we're going to be hitting pull-ups, rows, biceps, traps, all that jazz. So that's going to be where we start. While I get ready, actually, take this off just because I want to see. I keep an eye on the temp in here. It's definitely a lot cooler, so I'm feeling pretty good about that. Go ahead and, that's one other thing I meant to do. Got to grab, there it is. I forgot to bump my continued weight count. And then we'll post pictures. Perfect. Okay, done with that. Awesome, 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 awesome. So, what do we got? We're gonna do, I think we're gonna start with pull-ups, or go from there. Decide whether I wanna do them in the door frame or do them in here. I'm kinda leaning towards the door frame, at least for now. Do some pull-ups, yeah. Well, it's early enough to where I don't think the mosquitoes are gonna be hyper aggressive. I've been wrong about that, so we're gonna find out. We'll go from there. Anywho. Figure out how much sleep I got last night. Because I actually slept in fairly well, but I woke up really groggy, so I don't know what that means. Does that mean I slept poorly? Does that mean I slept well? I really don't know. It's one of those where I'm curious. I know tickets next week are going to be a bitch to get. Well, I'm not going to Knoxville. I've been asked if I would, because Knoxville's about a 5-6 hour drive, really, depending on how badly NC DOT has fucked up Interstate 40. But I don't need that. And this is both sort of a credit and a damnation of the Vol faithful. Every time I have hung out with Vols fans at a football game, I have not remembered it the next day. I almost always get blackout drunk, and I don't really want to do that. So we'll not be doing that. Plus, I got a ton of yard work I need to do. I'll explain more about that later. But let's first get and move on with the actual, thing you guys come here to watch me do. So we'll do that. There we go. Perfect. Okay. That should do just fine. Oh, that's not good. Bluetooth decided to be like, hey, what if I just didn't? Now we're talking. All right, it's 27. Good start. I got a mouth like it. Ali Bagel, these are Volunteers fans we're talking about here. That's not possible. So it happens with Vols fans is they're very friendly. What they do is, I figured this out about Vols fans. They take all the Jack Daniels and the other Tennessee whiskeys everybody knows about. That's what gets sold. All the small distilleries in and around the eastern half of that state, only Vols fans know about them. So you get to a tailgate with Vols fans, they start busting out the really good Tennessee whiskey and offering you some. And I mean, I've been known to put down some drink, but the two fan bases I have found do not ever attempt to drink with are for beer, Wisconsin fans, and for whiskey, Tennessee fans. They will offer you really, really good whiskey. Hey, morning, Maddie. Morning, Allie. This is just, I know, you got to know yourself, right? I know, I think I could probably do a better angle than this. Can't fix that. That's a bit better. But I know myself well enough to know that, let's see if we can't. That's a bit better. I know myself well enough to where if I do that, yeah, I'm gonna get too liquored up for my own good. There we go. Right, in the same way that, if you're having trouble staying away from sweet shit, you want to not go into the candy store. If you're having trouble not getting blackout drunk, don't go tailgating with Vols fans. Because that's what's going to happen. That's genetically, yeah, I think think Volstan is just genetically able to take more alcohol than most. It's impressive, man. Morning indeed, welcome. So, do another set here. Mental health will drive. Outdated. Overrated. All right, 19. We'll move back to the bar. Actually, no. Let's stick to the door frame, because I don't want to fuck up my grip strength right before doing rows. What kind of person might want to get drunk? With the high Scottish gene percentage, probably. Did you see a Phoenix? Depends on the type of liquor. If it's tequila, I get violent. If it's whiskey, I usually get happy and then sleepy. If it's beer, I don't know, I very seldom get beer drunk. Just too much of a volume. Also because beer is so many, it's not just alcohol, it's a shit ton of alcohol and carbs. If I'm gonna drink to get fucked up, I'm gonna go with liquor. Wine drunk, I'm very gregarious, very go with the flow. And then I regret it the next morning because wine hangovers are a bitch. But that's wine. Other things, pretty non-noteworthy. Yeah, I think in general, if you're drunk, it's just gonna exaggerate all your normal personalities. Like, so if you're naturally outgoing, alcohol is gonna make you even more of an extrovert. I'm doing all right. If the title didn't give it away, I'm on something of a cut cycle right now. Had something like 2,700 calories last night, which is higher than I wanted it to be on a rest day, so it was probably, give or take, about even with maintenance. I probably didn't lose a ton. Started this little sort of mini cut at about 213. Right now, weighed in this morning at 209.2. I would like to be right around 205 when I leave for Texas in a couple weeks. Now, if I really wanted to, I could dry fast and get there in 2 days. That's not healthy, and it's not really being at 205. So, instead, going on a small cut, it probably means my numbers aren't going to be quite as good in here the next few weeks, but I'm still going to give it my all. We're going to sort of go from there. Let's see. I'm at 46 right now. I'm deciding if I want to do I want to do them in the door frame or do I want to do them in here? I think I'm going to do them in the door frame because I don't want to fuck up my grip so bad that it damages my ability to row. So I've really been working hard on my lats. I can feel them. The fact that it's only been 2 sets in, I can already feel them is proof. So gonna stick to it. One day, I want to have my curtains open. The sun wants to be a bitch and shine red on my monitor. F. Well, the sun's going down earlier and earlier, so that'll fix itself in a day or two. At least to a degree. Right down. So we've got a set of 27 and a set of 19, so it's 46 and 2. Let's go. Too bad. Bang your head. Wake the dead. Yeah, we'll do one more set of those. Yeah, goal today, we're gonna try to keep working on that, get that Koopa shell, get them butterfly wings. The violence is gonna make it look amazing. Yeah, I appreciate that. Now, where I really notice it, even just the last week or two, I've kind of tightened up on my macros, cut my calories back a little bit. I already see a little bit more definition. It's the lower abs is where I notice it. These four are pretty much fully developed, right? They'll get slightly more defined if I lose body fat, but these, you can see them, they're visible. Down here, this is where, to really get it looking right, you gotta hit that single digit body fat percentage. Am I going to go that skinny? No, that would probably put me under 200 pounds. I'm not sure I wanna be, I mean, I would look really shredded, but I'm not sure I want to do that. Lower abs look more defined from the last few weeks. Yeah, that's exactly why. Good to see you, Cristiano, as always. Welcome on in. All right, last set on pull-ups. Well, technically these will be chins, but you get the idea. Good enough? I'm doing all right. There we go. That's better. Welcome on in, the Nightmare. Good to see you. Let's see, I'm in Montclair, New Jersey. All right, good to see you. Welcome back to the States, Reagan. Roshan triple 007, excuse me. Welcome to the bullpen. Good to see you. Turn the camera up just a touch. What's my current weight and body fat? Well, if you see in the title, I'm 209.2 pounds. The body fat reading said 11.7% this morning. And while you can see definition in the abdominals, I think 11.7 is a bit optimistic. If I were to guess, I'd say something like between 13 and 14%. Just my opinion. I'm doing all right. Visiting Montclair State University. What are you there for? You looking for work there? Know someone who attends? Curious. This. Wait, let's do it. Better. Do you want my belt for this? Gap year, decided not to join the military and attend college. All right. What are you gonna do? Like what degree do you want to get? I get my law degree and high school teaching certificate. Well, so now, if you want to teach high school, why would you want a law degree? Most high schools don't. I mean, I don't think you would need a law degree to teach high school. Maybe I'm mistaken. I don't know much about the liberal arts side of things. I'm an engineer, so I wouldn't. Also, don't trust lawyers as far as I can throw them. Which shouldn't surprise any of you. All right, I'm gonna focus, lock in. I want to get at least 8 solid reps here where, I'm not kipping, so to speak. Kipping's not the right term for this, but like really isolating and really hitting my lats. Lats are a little sore, so we'll see, but I think I've got the power for this. Oh, my spine just popped. Oh, it feels good. Come on. All right, that felt pretty good. All right, all right. That wasn't bad. Yeah, I'm 6'3". Shine on, shine on. Oh. God, Eddie Van Halen was such a fucking legend. So an attorney, having defense point a rapist or murder, someone going to corporate law will leave you as the Google's apples of the world. Well, corporate law is pretty lucrative. I don't blame you. Even when it's against people who are accused of the most heinous crimes, public defenders, I can't believe I'm the one standing up to defend the lawyers here. Public defenders are a necessary and undervalued part of the system because there always remains the chance that this is a person who has been wrongly convicted. The only thing more wrong than a murder or a rape is convicting the incorrect person of the crime. And unfortunately, no legal system is perfect. So every so often you get someone who is wrongfully convicted and their life gets ruined over it. And that is a true shame. But yeah, I'm 6'3". You want to be an attorney? Well, as an engineer, if you become a corporate lawyer, I believe you and I will be natural enemies. I kid, only mostly. This is starting to look pretty wobbly. I needed to widen up the tripod a touch. Yeah, so I can feel that in my lats, which is a really good sign. But I'm actually really happy with this. I'm repping 175 a lot better than I was a few months ago. I'm noticing better definition in my lats, which is telling me that, no, you know, as someone, I'm on a cut. Once you get to this level of body fat, right, if you're on a cut, you're just not going to gain that much. The lats were, I would call them a historically underdeveloped part of my body. I think I'm finally getting them the attention they needed, and I think my lats are responding really well. So I'm quite pleased with that. Makes me look a little bit more well-rounded instead of, hey, just do the big pecs. Anyway, let's see what this at. Strong like bull, come on. Come on, come on. Yeah, 9. Last one wasn't great, but tolerable. Humans. I think instead of wide grip, I'm gonna stick with rows today at the conventional grip. I want to get better with 175. Oh yeah. That last rep is all up in here. It's what you can will yourself to do, 100%. Humans be just human, just human. Humans be. Let's go from Van Hagar back to Van Halen with a little something off Van Halen's second album, a little song called DOA 1979. The opening riff to this is so fucking good. Alright. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 2 more sets of this. We'll hit shrugs. I'll probably start doing some curls. We're going to carry on from there. Now you want to have something to cycle. You want to have cues, right? So for lifting, when you're looking to put maximum explosive effort down, especially on your low rep sets, your sets of 5, your sets of 6, your sets of less, you really want to psych yourself up to put that maximum effort in. And to do that, you can use audio or visual cues. One of the ones I like to do is sit back and relax for a few seconds before I begin a set. The other is say strong like bull to myself, right? And it could be anything. Like, there's a real famous power lifter, forget his name. It was Coleman was the guy who was always saying lightweight. No matter what the weight was, he'd call it lightweight. Oh. Okay. My back is sore, though, and it's because I hit deadlift really hard. And so what's interesting is I'm using my upper back for this, but I hit Romanians a couple days back on my deadlifts. So the thing with Romanians, if you're doing them properly, your upper back is engaged. You're coming down, right? You're trying to engage your hamstrings at most, but to do that, you have to keep the weights engaged, so your lats get a pretty good workout from that. All right, let's do this. Come on! That was only 7. Fuck. That last rep was garbage. And I'm not counting that. Wanted, dead or alive, dead or alive. I'm on the highway, wanted, dead or alive, dead or alive. Fucking hit this, come on. Come on! That's all I got. We call that 7. I didn't really like that last rep. It's better than the previous set, but still not good. I think I'm gonna try 265, see how it feels for shrugs. I think before that I'm gonna do a set of hammer curls. Come on, strong neck ball. Yeah, I can. So camera up just a touch. That's better. I stood and looked down. I got no time to miss. Already? Fucking mosquitoes. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey. Come on. Cosmo says bench 315. Let's go, bro. Welcome to the 3 Plates Club. Good for you. How warm is it? Not too bad here. It's only 75 right now. We are just about to reach the point where it gets a lot cooler in the mornings. The temperatures start dipping into the 50s and even the 40s. Oh, it's going to transform how well I can work out in here. Right, you guys have seen a little bit peppier, a little bit livelier when it's 75 in here as opposed to 85. Just wait until it's 65 or 55 in here. Right, because of all this muscle mass, I'm basically a walking, talking furnace, a space heater. And I have an electric car in here, which to cool off its battery internally increases the heat externally. So, yeah, freezing here in the morning under 30 Fahrenheit. Damn, you must live up north. Better to live out west in the desert where it gets really cold at night. Anyway, let's go. Let's get another set here. This is working my grip strength as well. My grip strength is really the limiting factor here, not so much my trap muscles. But I like the way my traps look as it is, so I'm happy to sacrifice a little bit of that for grip strength. I'm going with the dual front grip. I can easily get this with an oppo grip, but that's not the point. If I want to train grip strength, I have to use a front grip. One, two. Come on. Grip strength is starting to really fail there. That's tough. I'll have to rest before I try that another time. The trap strength is there, it's just the grip strength ain't. Ooh. That's a weird place to get a cramp. Get a cramp like right below the glute and above the hamstring, like right there. That's not a normal place to get one. Ouchie. How did I even do that? I was doing shrugs. Yeah, today the high is still going to get into the 80s. We're going to have a few days where the highs are in the 70s, and that is going to be glorious. I don't really care about the highs. It can get into the 90s for all I care. The lows are what matters because I lift in the mornings. Come on. Not bad. Reach down between my legs. Ease the seat back. Let's do this. Power steering. Grip strength makes that so much harder. so you're on 135 for the next set on this. What you want to do is lat raises, verticals, lat raises, vertical flies, and front raises, and incline curls, I think that's going to be the move. So it'd be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So we need 35 on the dumbbells. Come on. There we go. Let's try and try. We take a chance with no beginning. Still try, win or lose. Take the highs with the blues. Yeah. Always one more. You're never satisfied. Okay. So I got lat raises, vertical flies, and incline curls. Nice. Okay. Cool. So I'm going to do that. I need the bench at incline. Come on. There it goes. Ooh, back is tightening up. Just stretch out a bit. That's better. It's a compressive load that you're putting on your back with those shrugs, right? You're holding that weight. That's 200. I was doing 265. That's more than my body weight. I'm holding it right here, so it's gonna put a lot of pressure on my spine. So you do a dead arm hang for a little bit, kind of evens it out. Allows your spine to experience zero load as opposed to double load. Or in this case, more than double load. All right, so what I'm gonna do is, this needs to go around. Yes. So I'm gonna do lat raises here, vert flies here, and then incline curls here, so I need to put the camera down a touch. That's more like it. All right, first set of lat raises, 90 degrees bent over. And my back is starting to get really tight. That's not a great sign. There we go, perfect. Come on. Oh, my buys. Feeling good. Yes. God, 5150 is such a good album. Word turns right away. Pictures in an empty room. Love starts falling down. Better change your tune. Yeah. Golden ring. Reach for the sky. That's not good. I got 10 last time. I was only 8. Do better. Do better, Bull. Do better. Oh my gosh. Here we go, next set. Same thing, lat raises. This time, "45 degrees. Well, that's what dreams are made of. Come on. Spell work, it's all good. Just happy you posted something at all. Good to see you. Let's go for a little diver down. Where have all the good times gone? So this is actually originally a Kinks song. Van Halen, before they were ever called Van Halen, they were a band called Mammoth in the mid-70s. And they got their start playing Kinks covers. Most bands of that era were influenced by either the Beatles or the Rolling Stones. Van Halen was always a fan of the Kinks more than those two. You know, Ray and Dave Davies. No. And then as you get further into the 80s and the 90s, a lot of those alternative and grunge bands were influenced by the Velvet Underground, because in the middle of the colorful peace and love pop psychedelia of the years 1966, 67, 68, the Velvet Underground, who were a continent away from that scene in California, they were in New York. And New York, from about 1965 to 1980, saw a pretty long downward spiral, culminating in going bankrupt in 1975 and 76. But as a result of that, New York was pretty seedy by 1967, and that was where Andy Warhol and the Factory was. And they came out with the Velvet Underground and Nico, which is one of the greatest records ever produced. I could argue probably the single best record from 1967. I'd have a tough time choosing any other ones. There are some good options, the original Jimi Hendrix album, or perhaps the first Doors record. But for me, I think it'd probably be the Velvet Underground. I mean, it was a commercial sales flop. It only sold like 30,000, but it said that something like everyone who bought those original 30,000 went on to start making music. There's a stain on the shorts. Yes, so not to try and draw attention to it, but this little bit here, it's rust. This bar, you can see, made out of cheap Chinese steel. It's already rusting due to the humid air here in South Carolina. If I sand it off, it's just going to continue rusting. So, I didn't buy it for a lot of money, and it's not even 45 pounds. It's only 35, which is annoying. But so I don't. It gets the job done, but okay, if it causes a stain on rust on these beat up old gym shorts, I don't really care. So yeah, I know, it's there. It's rust, if you're wondering what it is. Hey, Ninja Bartender, thank you very much for the first time chat. Welcome to the bullpen. Good to see you. All right, let's get this set going. Strong like bull, come on. Woo-wee! Let's go. Come on. Where have all the good times gone? Where have all the good times gone? I watched the stream off, I learned to control myself. Ha! That's pretty funny, actually. You do get used to things, this hedonic treadmill and whatnot. So the timer there is a financial independence timer. What it means is, I'm a huge fan of the FIRE movement, stands for Financial Independence and Retire Early. And in summation, what that means is, I can retire in about 500 and change days. That'll be at the age of 29. there's a lot more to this channel than just some dude who lifts. I don't mean to be immodest, but frankly, I'm fucking successful. And I love sharing my successes, failures, and lessons learned along the way in my life to help people out in theirs. And it's very gratifying when people learn things from my channel, apply them to their own lives, and come back and tell me, hey, you know, you gave me this advice and it worked. Thank you. Very, very gratifying. Cool, I hope it all works out. Oh, I will. I'm already 80% of the way there. Even if I lost my job tomorrow, which I fucking won't because I'm more or less impossible to replace. Oh my god. Yeah, I've more or less done it. I'm gonna hit another set. I'm gonna explain a little bit about just how good my financial situation is, and hopefully, if you guys want to ask me advice, it is Financial Fitness Friday, so we're going to talk about stocks, investing, financial independence. We're going to talk about all that at the end of the workout. I just don't do that mid-workout because the blood isn't flowing up here, so I'm not going to be as coherent. But I will say, if you want more information, Ninja Bartender, please stick around. We're like 2/3 of the way through this workout, so we will have that talk once we're completed. So definitely stick around, it'll be worth your time. Perfect. Yeah, I've set myself up extremely well. I'll talk more about that at the end of the stream. So, Ninja Bartender, please stick around. It'll be worth your time. Write down some questions if you have them. I will be very pleased to answer. Ooh, yeah! Diver down never fails, baby. Hang 'em high. Alright. This to normal, or flat. Do a set of concentration curls with 35. We got one more set of vertical flies. Then we're going to do forehand curls, single arm rows. That might be it. Bent over flies, yes. So get the delts. Cool, cool. Yeah, we're looking good. it. That's all I got.
Grip stick's starting to fail some. That's all right. That's all right. I don't care about as much about traps. The traps are already looking pretty decent. We're done with the heavy barbell stuff. We'll take our plates off. We're going to add quarters, and we're going to curl. Seven. Okay, so how many sets are we done? Let's see. 4, 8, 11, 14, 17, 20, 23. So you got 7 sets left. 2 sets of forehand curl, 1 set of concentration curl, 2 sets of back fly, and then I think we got a burnout curl. That's it. No, single arm rows, and not a burnout curl. Yes. Yes. Got enough. Male body's the best creation ever. Holy cow.
I mean, you can stick around just for, you know, I'm more than just a good-looking bod.
I get it. Guys, I'm not stupid. I know it's 75% of you are here for. Most of y'all respect my rule in this channel. The one rule in chat is don't do shit that'll get me kicked off Twitch. And because of that, I know because that's what a lot of y'all are here for. A lot of y'all go with the, if I can't say something within the rules, I won't say anything at all. I get it. I'm not stupid. It's okay. Nice. Yeah. We're gonna go with back flies at 25 instead of 20 to see how that feels. There we go. How you doing, C-Dub? Good to see you. Oh. Oh. A lot of things in my rib cage and spine just popped. Ow. Whew. Okay. No quit. I ain't done. There we mic, just a touch. How you doing, C-Dub? Working got you tapped up though. Well, I appreciate that. It's okay. My audience is quiet this morning. Most people in here just like the visual. I get it. It don't bother me none. And now it's gone forever. So sad. Jamie's crying. God, my back is sore now. That's good. I mean, it's sore both upper and lower. What that's telling me is, yeah, it means I'm hitting my lats. But I'm also sore from deadlifts a few days back. It's gonna make squats harder tomorrow. And I'm gonna have to be careful. I don't want to overdo it and get a back injury. That would be bad. Woo! It's all right. These workout streams are usually filled with positivity. I appreciate that. Look, again, I try my best not to talk about it because Twitch is okay. So if Twitch were more clear about where the line is, I wouldn't feel like I was constantly having to walk on eggshells about this topic. I posted this is an 18+ channel. I feel as though I should be able to talk about that, but Twitch doesn't. The problem is you get some fucking numbnuts who comes in and will report you for the dumbest bullshit, and Twitch seems to operate on guilty before proven innocent. You can appeal getting suspended for a few days, but good luck. Twitch won't listen to you. So it's one thing about Twitch I really don't like. I don't think TOS is very well. I don't think what the rules are and aren't are very well defined. I also don't think they're enforced very similarly. Oh, this is 18+. Nah, it's cool. I mean, look, I don't check. As long as you act like you're 18, I'm not gonna ask. It's not my responsibility. But like, with that, it's just, right, you have Amaranth, and no problems. I have no problems with her, but like, Amaranth and streamers like her, where basically the entire the real gist of the stream is, you know, it's a pretty young girl showing off, you know, her breasts. And that's fine, you know, you go girl, make your hay. But the way Twitch treats streamers like that and smaller streamers is 180 out. The money talks. And it's just, it wouldn't bother me so much if the standard weren't so arbitrary. And as a result, I have to be very careful. So for a lot of the more explicit conversations that are adult that I'd like to have on here, that's what my Discord is for. Because I don't have to worry about that there. Anyway, no, absolutely. I try my best to be positive. That's just a pet peeve of mine to have with Twitch. Come on, 2, 3, yep. There we go. Hung up on the line. But I appreciate you coming in, Ninja Bartender. I got a lot more about financial independence to talk about if you stick around. We have, I think, 3 or 4 sets left. We're almost done. 90% of the way through the workout. All right. All right, 3 sets left. Yeah, one more of those, one set of 400 curls, and we're gonna burn out. One more set of forehand curls, one more set of single arm rows, and then we're going to burn out on bicep curls. So it's going to look like a set of 50, set of 40, set of 30, set of 20, set of 10. You guys have seen me do that in the past. The idea is to just absolutely shoot up my biceps, get that pump. This tends to work pretty well. And usually the way I do it is as I go down in weight, I go up in reps. So it's just drop set, drop set, drop set, drop set, drop set. Workout boy, welcome on in. Thanks for first time chat, saying you have crazy abs. Good, man. Abs are hard to get. I call these semi-visible. Because I'm skinny? Well, the old saying is that abs are made in the kitchen, and it's true. If you have visible abs, you gotta have the diet. Because, at least if you're male, your belly is the first place fat will build. So if you want visible abs, you have to be very conscious about your diet. Right now, I'm on a cut, so I can identify with that. All right, come on. Let's do this. That's it. I feel like I was cheating the last set or rep or two there. I'm tired. I'm pretty torn up. Oh. What am I doing? What am I doing? All right, last set of single arm row. Yeah, all right. Again, that's what I'm saying. Abs are made in the kitchen. If you're skinny, it means your diet's good in general. It means you're not overeating anyway. So it means you're going to have visible abs because there isn't any fat there to block or to obscure your abdominal wall. There we go. Meanwhile, by a BMI standard, I'm technically overweight, and I still have semi-visible abs. So you tell me. 2. BMI chart is not for people who work out, correct. But that's why I'm using myself as an example, right? Okay, I may not be absolutely shredded, but I'm not overweight either. Friends are skinny, they had crazy abs before they started working out. Yeah, again, visible abdominals is a product of low body fat, not necessarily a product of muscular mass. Now, if you work out your abs, it'll help. Like for me, the reason I have even semi-visible abs at 210 pounds is because I worked out my abs a lot. Because I do daily abs, which I'll do at the end of the stream. And also because I do squats and deadlifts. All right. One second, I'm gonna stretch out my abs. That's good. Oh, kind of reset my back there. That feels good. All right, last set, burnout curl. So we gotta go 50, 40, 30, 20, 10. There we go. Played a television at PNC, want to get out of the retail grind. I don't fucking blame you, Big Red. You can do better. Always had better abs and they never work out. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Also, I see Tomo Fit in here. Let's give a shout out. Tomo Fit does some pretty cool shit. Go give them a follow. Give them a follow. All right, so this will be our burnout set. And if I'm gonna do that, I'll be standing here. You need to get your abs back. It starts in the kitchen. Don't get me wrong, squats and ab exercises help, but abs aren't in the kitchen. They are. They are. There's no real argument here. No serious person I know says you can bulk your way to adding abs. Oh, of course, Tomo. It's always good to see you and other Twitch streamers in here. I'm very liberal with my shout-outs. If you come in here and you hang out, even for just a little while, I almost always give you a shout-out. Because it doesn't hurt me to do. Why wouldn't I do that? Because your content's good, so why wouldn't I want you to get, followers? I don't know, I think a lot of people in my audience who maybe don't know who you are, I think they would like your channel, so of course I'd shout it out. All right. Last set for today, switch it up actually. Let's do Seasons in the Abyss by Slayer. Normally I don't go as heavy as Slayer, but I don't know why, it just seems like it'd be a good choice. To do the same. Yeah, exactly, right? This is one of the things I love about the health and fitness community on Twitch. It's one of the most wholesome, I think it's probably the best community, frankly, on Twitch. There's seldom any people who think it's a zero-sum game, who think, oh, if I shout out or recommend anybody else, it's going to damage my numbers. I mean, a large part of this is because a lot of people on health and fitness for Twitch are not in it for the money. I'm one of them, but I know I'm not the only one. A lot of people do these workouts just because they like doing the workouts. And any viewer numbers or, bits or followers or subscribers is entirely incidental. All right. So we're going to hit set at 50, set at 40, set at 30, set at 20, set at 10. So set, drop set, drop set, drop set, drop set. By the end of this, my biceps will be barely functioning. That's what we want. Check the temp in here before. It says 76. Yeah, that's pretty normal. Hey, we got a new follower. Thank you very much, Tulips Blooms. Welcome to the bullpen. Here we go. Come on. Drop. Drop. Come on. Drop. Last set, come on. Finish. Ten. 15, 16, 17, 18. 4, come on. Come on. Oh my God. We're done. Let's go. That pump. It's hard to tell from here, but the veins are popping. All right. Now done the workout. We still, however, have abs to do. And it's Financial Fitness Friday, so we're going to talk financial freedom, stocks, investing, frugality, all that jazz. The financial optimization section of my stream, as opposed to the physical and diet optimization section of my stream. Yeah, temperature's rising in here. That put off a lot of heat. It's a 77 now. All right, so we got 6 inches, we got planks, we got side planks, You got sit-ups and raised legs. There's still a little bit to work off. This is how we do. Come on. Come on, 20 more seconds. There we go. Do our planks. So we're about to hit the financial fitness section of the stream. So if you guys have questions about financial freedom, investing, stocks, finances, now's the time to start putting them in the chat. I'll read them. All right. Come on. 8 more seconds. Morning's easy false. Now you're messing with a son of a... Fuck! Come on! Come on. 12 more. Ouch. One more set. We got sit-ups. Talk to him every day. What do you mean I don't support your system? I go to court when I have to. Work on got nothing better to do. What do you mean I don't pay my bills? Yeah, I'm sore from the traps all the way back. All the way to my glutes. Even then, my glutes and my hands are still a little sore. What do you mean I hurt your feelings? I didn't know you had any feelings. Right, last set. Not bad. We'll do some push-ups. We're not done yet. We're not done yet! Good enough? That'll do. Woo! All right. Oh, okay. We're now done the workout section of the stream. Whew. What a good workout that was. Pretty good. Pretty good. Easy false. I'll come on in. Oh, okay. So now we have reached the financial fitness section of the stream. At this point, this is where I more or less field questions from the audience, talk about financial optimization, really talk about anything y'all want. It's kind of open-ended, so if you've got any questions about the timer down here, what it means, what I plan to do, and how I got to this point, this is the time to ask. I can give a sort of basic summary for those of you who are new. Let's take a look at the markets. The markets have been on something of a slide recently. It is quite red. S&P's back down to about 4,200, which is terrific. Honestly, I would consider this a good time to buy. We are a solid 15, 20%. No, not quite 20, probably 17, 18% below all-time high, which is set early 2022. So that's a really good sign. To me, that's when you want to be buying and buy for the long run. So that's probably what I will end up doing. Looks like the markets are, a little bit low today. So I would say this is a good time to buy, especially given that I think in general, the economy is doing better than a lot of people want to admit it is. I think a lot of people like to do a little bit of doomering, a little bit of naysaying, a little bit of, oh, inflation's really double what people are saying it is, and oh, the dollar's going to lose hegemony, and oh, yada, yada, yada. That's as maybe. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I'm an expert on those issues, but I look at every other place in the world, every other currency in the world, and I see problems. What do I mean by that? Let's take the yuan, let's take China. China is definitely growing and has been growing at a just terrific pace the last few decades. However, the demographics bubble is beginning to start playing out there. Not to mention, because of this, is estimated China has built millions and millions of homes for buyers who don't exist. In other words, the real estate market in China is having some serious problems. What's this going to mean? It may, in the long run, either demand Chinese government intervention, or it could trigger a run on the markets, which is another great buying opportunity. If you buy now at 4,200 and it goes down to 3,800, you're only poor if you sell. Historically, the markets bounce back pretty quickly. Not to mention, there are some benefits to a potential slowdown on the Chinese market. Yes, that stifles economic growth, but because of that, it's also going to stifle worldwide oil demand. What does that mean? Well, it means oil prices will go down. If oil prices go down, that has a huge knock-on effect for prices of almost every other good, which means inflation will go down. Unfortunately, we still live in a world dominated by the petrochemical industry. We require oil and gas in basically everything we make. So as a result of that, oil prices go up, the prices for almost all goods and services go up. This is why, for instance, the 1970s were famed for having very high inflation. It's because the US built out and addicted itself to the automobile, and as a result got addicted to foreign oil. In 1973, OPEC decided we're turning off the spigot, and what happened was the price of oil quadrupled in a couple of months, and predictably, prices in the United States began to rise at a solid 10 to 15% a year. Inflation, and people are saying, oh, inflation's so bad now. Compared to the 70s, this is child's play. As a result, and I think we're way better off than we were in the 70s. Frankly, we produce more oil now than any other country on earth here in the United States. The problem is that we consume all of it because we are so incredibly wasteful in this country. If we were less wasteful, we would have the Saudis, we'd have the Russians right under our heel. Unfortunately, we're too fat to do that. Drill baby drill is a bit like saying just buy bigger pants when you're already 400 pounds and you're obese. It's not, you cannot drill your way out of this problem. Because every time we increase oil production, we match oil with increased oil consumption. And my proof of this is, take a look at the 2010s. Oil consumption actually declined from about 2008 to 2012. Why? Gas prices were high. People started buying small cars. In the early 2010s, you had a predominance of cars like the Nissan Versa, the Honda Fit, the Toyota Yaris, the original Chevrolet Volt, even the Cobalt and the Focus. The big three started putting a little bit more effort into their small automobile offerings, except for Chrysler. But Chrysler's run by idiots. Then the fracking boom happens in 2014. Oil falls off a cliff, goes from like $110 a barrel down to about 55. So it's cut in half overnight. What happens? Well, the big three start cranking out giant trucks and SUVs. We have the Hellcat, we have, the fucking Ram TRX, the Ford Raptor, all these giant stupid vehicles that are incredibly wasteful. Theodorus, welcome to the chat, and welcome to the bullpen. Am I natty? Yes. Not only am I natty, I have to be natty. Even if I wanted to go on gear, I couldn't. I get drug tested as a part of my job. So, yes, I am natty. I have to be. It's tempting to think, I don't think I'm quite at my natty ceiling, so even if I could juice, I don't think I would. And because of that, right, I think I'm better off just sticking to natty. I really don't think I'm at my ceiling, right? I'm sitting at about 210 pounds, trying to cut a little bit more. I want to get down to about 205. Maintain that through the rest of October and most of November. And then beginning Thanksgiving, I want to start a bulk. I want to try bulking to 235, 240, and see what I look like, see what kind of numbers I can put up. Right now, my maxes are 440 on deadlift, 405 on squat, and 355 on bench. Now, I hit my deadlift max very recently, which I'm very happy about. Squat max is a while back, although I can even now reliably still put up 390, 395 without issue. So I'm thinking 405 is still pretty reasonable. My bench, I think, has fallen off a bit since my PR. My guess is I could probably hit 335, 340 right now. I want to hop on gear. So that's a decision you have to choose to make. First off, it depends on what country and state you're in, because some gear is illegal in some places and some is legal in others, and that may affect your decision making. Am I a power lifter? No. I lift for up here. I'm a recreational lifter. I am not a bodybuilder. I'm not a power lifter. I don't compete. I do this because I enjoy it and because it's fun. And because oftentimes I get to teach you guys and you guys get to teach me stuff. That's the main reason I do it. It's also because my day job is very stressful, very taxing on my mental health, and as such, this is my oasis. This is my nirvana here. This is where I'm allowed to vent all of that energy off. All that mental stress goes away in here. I don't lift because I want to. I do want to, but I lift because I need to. I need to, oh my gosh, I just remembered. I had this big interview with Severus when he was down here, and he made the video, and I need to go back and rewatch it. So when you get tested then, it's random. That's the problem. I don't know. It happens every so often. There's no consistency. You could get tested twice within the span of a month or 2 months. You could go multiple years without getting tested. Really depends. But yeah, unfortunately, that is a reality of my day job. I am actually really thirsty, so I might go and grab a little water. Or I could move the laptop in and we could do that. But I mean, for what reason? What do you mean? Why do I get tested? Is that what you're asking? I don't follow. What are you asking? Let's head inside. I think that's what we're gonna do. So that way I need some water. Oh my god. Actually, no. My laptop likes to be real slow and crunchy when I don't have it plugged in. So we'll stay out here. I'm gonna grab my water. Give me just 1 minute, y'all. I'll be back in 30 seconds. There we go. Sorry about that. Just needed a little bit more water. My throat was getting very dry. So for what reason? Are you talking about, I don't follow Theodorus. What are you asking why I get tested? I don't choose to get tested. It's something my employer chooses to do. Oh, okay. I'm actually going to stretch out just a minute. Oh. Oh my gosh. Yeah, my back is sore. I feel that upper and lower back is just sore as shit right now. Oh. Hey, Rainbow, thank you very much for the subscription. I appreciate that. Thanks for the resub. 3 months already. Yeah, it's been flying. Thank you very much. I do appreciate that. Thank you. I'm gonna do a little bit more stretching. I'm too sore not to. I hate stretching, but I don't think I have an option. Also, it's gonna get too stuffy in here. I'm gonna keep the fan on. Much better. There we go. Excuse me. Dating 21. Are you worried the U.S. national debt will become unsustainable in your lifetime? This is a good question. My answer is sort of. I don't think, right? So here's the deal. Almost all of the debt the United States has taken out at the current point is debt that is more or less held in treasury bonds. Those treasury bonds are mostly from 0% to 2%. In other words, the interest on that debt is extremely low. The problem, now that inflation has ticked up, is the U.S. is having to buy more bonds at a much higher interest rate. As a result, the amount of money we are going to pay to service that debt every year is rising and rising fast. What this means is that if the United States doesn't make some hard decisions, yes, it will become unsustainable. Those decisions are not going to come from cutting discretionary budget and nibbling around the edges. The biggest two uses, or the biggest two drains on the budget are entitlements and the military, okay? The military could use some spending cuts. No person, even people I know, my own father served in the Air Force for 29 years and he could identify countless billions of dollars of waste, right? Furthermore, and a lot of people on the left don't like hearing this, but Social Security and Medicare is not sustainable when life expectancy is drastically higher than the beginning of the payout rate. Social Security was never intended to provide, on average, 10 to 15 years of retirement funds to people, okay? It was never the case. Social Security originally had an age of retirement of 62, okay? Here's the thing. Life expectancy in the United States, since Social Security originally came around in 1935, was 59. Now, Social Security age is 66. Life expectancy is 77. Do you see the problem here? It's a simple math problem, right? And the United States was a lot younger on average in 1935 than it is today. The same thing applies with Medicare, although to a lesser extent, because Medicare was started in 1964. The trouble is also with taxation. The United States cannot continue to spend like a European country and tax like a free market, American country, so to speak, right? You can't have Reagan levels of taxes and Roosevelt levels of spending. That's just not how that works. That's unsustainable. No politician will cut defense or entitlements, though. Another one, this one's really unpopular. I'm a huge fan of drastically and immediately raising federal gasoline taxes. We need to cut carbon emissions anyway, and we are subsidizing the US automotive industry and the highways by insane amounts. It blows my mind how much we're willing to subsidize car infrastructure, but the second anybody talks about railroad infrastructure, it becomes, oh, this is just a waste of money. Blows my mind. The US federal gasoline tax has not been changed since 1993. As a result, inflation has halved its effective power. There is no reason the United States should have a gasoline tax that low. And if you are complaining and bitching and moaning about gas prices, it probably means you're driving a very inefficient vehicle and commuting a very long way to work. There are probably ways to reduce your gasoline consumption. There are cheap, efficient vehicles that will slice your gasoline expenses in half if you drive an inefficient vehicle. I'm convinced of this. And if that fails, there's always carpooling, right? There's always public transit. There's always stuff like that. You're the adult in a room full of people who want free candy. I'm an engineer. I'm used to that. I don't deal, so being an engineer, I don't deal very well in bullshit. So yes, if I were king for a day, the Social Security and Medicare age would immediately be raised to 73, no exceptions. Would that piss a lot of people in their 60s off? Yes. Do I care? No. If you are 65 years old right now, that means you were born in the single most prosperous era the world had ever known for the United States, the 1950s. You lived through the prosperity of the 60s. You graduated college in the 70s and the 80s when it was extremely cheap to pay for. In other words, you didn't have to take out any student loans, or if you did, they were extremely low, right? You were able to ride the prosperity booms of the Reagan era, then the Clinton era, then the Obama era, the 2010s tech boom. You had 3 separate massive stock booms in your lifetime. You had pensions. You were the last generation to have pensions, for God's sake. You were the first generation to get 401k benefits. You can't sit here and tell me that through all of that, you were still unable to save enough to retire on. The single most prosperous generation the world has ever seen, and if you're sitting here at age 65 with nothing to show for it financially, I have no sympathy for you. I know that may sound harsh, but you know what? The world is harsh. You gotta make some tough fucking financial decisions, and the baby boomers are fucking spoiled. And because they control the government, they're going to shaft future generations, not even millennials and zoomers, but generations yet to be born. The baby boomers' largesse is going to hurt the United States dramatically for decades to come. If you want my honest take, there you go. I would immediately raise entitlement ages to 73. Now, if you want to fix healthcare, and if you want to go the healthcare route, I'm something of a centrist, okay? So there are some issues I'm to the right on, some issues I'm to the left on. If you want to go the healthcare route, I am not opposed to the idea of moving to single payer, but if you're going to do that, you need to do it not half-assed. In other words, you can't try and get all the benefits of single payer without realizing some of the costs, okay? In no country that has single payer healthcare are taxes as low as they are here in the United States. The average American will have to pay more in taxes to get single-payer health care. Now, because they're not paying the premium for their own health insurance, you may argue that it's a net benefit for average Americans. That's a lot of statistics, and it really depends on what kind of group you're talking about, what kind of income level you're talking about. When it comes to the taxes, though, you are going to have to pay more in income taxes if you want single-family health care. The people who are sitting here and telling you the billionaires will pay for everything to have universal health care, they're lying to you. They're snake oil salesmen. It's not, the math just doesn't work. There are too many middle-class people and working-class people and not enough billionaires. It just doesn't work. And even if you could make the math work, which you can't, most billionaires would be like, oh, so you're going to tax me 75, 80%? I'm just going to hide all my income offshore, more than I already do. Good luck pursuing that. It's just not practical. You're not going to be able to do it. So exactly, yeah, billionaires will move their money. So that's the first thing. The second thing is the average American is substantially less healthy than the average European or someone from Japan, someone from Australia, someone from New Zealand in terms of life expectancy and in terms of preventable diseases. Diabetes and obesity rates are sky high here. As someone who takes I take pride in keeping myself in shape. I do not want to subsidize the people who make poor dietary and fitness decisions. And if you just have a basic universal healthcare system where income taxes pay for it all, that's precisely what you're doing. You're having the fit subsidizing the fat. That's a perverse incentive. Now, to eliminate that, you can do some very simple things. The first one is junk food taxes. I'm a huge fan of these, okay? We tax cigarettes because we recognize, as a society, that tobacco has some seriously poor negative externalities. Tobacco users are far more likely to develop cancer. They're far more likely to develop emphysema. They're far more likely to die earlier, and they're far more likely to take a lot of healthcare resources on their way out the door. The same thing with alcohol and liver function. The same thing with really any drug like that. And I think you should treat sugar or what I call hyperpalatable products the same way, right? Hyperpalatable products, what's that? So if something's palatable, that means it's tasty. Hyperpalatable means it's more or less been genetically engineered to be so tasty as to be almost addictive, okay? And let's be honest, between you and me here, okay? I'm gonna bring the mic in for just a moment, okay? Nobody is going to fucking die because your Little Debbie costs $4 instead of $2 now. It's not the end of the world. Grow a pair if you have a problem with it. Had to be done, had to be said. It bothers me immensely that Americans are so against soda and junk food taxes, but they want universal health care. That's not how that works. Because when you create a universal healthcare system, you are making the health a collective societal issue. If you are doing that and you, right, are overweight and you are full of preventable health problems that you have inflicted through poor decision making, what you are doing is you are a leech on the system. You are making poor decisions that you're damaging the overall, success of the system. The NHS is another example of this. In the United Kingdom, now they've had a couple better successes. Like one of the things they do is ban cartoon advertising for sugary candies and snacks and treats in the UK. I think that's an excellent idea because that's almost exclusively targeted to minors, and minors are much more easy to sway and much more easy to get addicted to your sugary shit at a young age. So you got to protect the kids there. I don't normally go for nanny state stuff, but I'll applaud the government of Great Britain for doing that. Oh my God, and then yes, the fat positivity movement is toxic. It is radioactive. Now, I'm not a fan of fat shaming, okay? Full disclosure, fat shaming is just as toxic, okay? The problem, I don't fat shame people. I lazy shame people, right? Or I excuse shame people. If you are overweight and you're eating poorly, but you state that those are the decisions I choose to make, I choose to be 350 pounds because I like eating, double Whoppers or whatever. You make up insert food here. If you say, I like eating junk food and that's worth it to me to live a shorter life, probably riddled with more diseases, hey, more power to you. It's a free country. As long as you're not, pushing those costs off on me, right? Now, if you're saying if you're doing that, but then you say, oh, I'm fat because I'm genetically predisposed to be fat, shut the fuck up. No, you're just making excuses and you're being fucking lazy. That's shameful. Excuses are shameful. There is nothing more aggravating, though, in terms of fat shaming, than people who judge or make snide comments or stare at overweight people who are coming to the gym. That pisses me off so fucking bad. That person has decided to do something about their health. That person is coming to the gym, and you know what? Yeah, you know what? Maybe that means they're taking up a bench press with not a ton of weight. Maybe that means they're taking up a treadmill and not going very fast. But you fucking be positive to them. They're making a good choice. You got it right. It's like a young plant, right? It's like growing a vegetable plant, right? You have to encourage and nurture that seed, that sapling, otherwise it's going to die. In the same way, if anyone is overweight and is in the gym and is struggling, you be positive to them. You give them a compliment. Say, hey, nice set. If they're doing something dangerous, say, hey, I noticed you were doing this. You may want to consider this. I'd be happy to help and show you if you'd like. Be very polite. Be very friendly. And especially, and again, more so if we ever went the universal healthcare route, more so because that is a direct societal cost, right? Universal healthcare means obesity is no longer a personal choice. It's a societal choice. It's a societal cost. FM, good to see you. Cy Congro, yep. So if you want universal healthcare, I'm open to it, but you can't do universal healthcare based solely alone on income taxes. You have to, if you want universal healthcare to be a thing, you have to, first off, stop the subsidizing of car-dependent infrastructure. We have created in this country, due to the prevalence of fast food, automobile dependency, and the Interstate Highways Act of 1956 and its consequences, if you know, you know. Because of all of that car-dependent infrastructure, we've made ourselves extremely sedentary as a people. There's a reason the people who have the lowest obesity rates are in cities like New York City, Denver, Washington, D.C., even places like Los Angeles and Honolulu. Why is that? Well, not so much Los Angeles. San Francisco, though. Why is that? It's because people walk and bike where they want to go, right? You get exercise from the gym of life. Healthcare and obesity prevention is natural because you're just doing that as a function of habit. We need to, if we want to go the universal healthcare route, we have to look at getting people out of the car and into healthier modes of transit. We have to look at maybe look at subsidizing gym memberships, or right. So in economics, if you subsidize something, you'll get more of it. If you tax something, you'll get less of it. So I'm a huge fan of those economic incentives. So hell yeah, taxes on soda. Hell yeah, taxes on junk food. All of that crap. Hell yeah, taxes on things that are artificially sweetened. Nobody will fucking die because your Little Debbie went from $2 to $4. Nobody. That hurts nobody. The only person it hurts is fucking Little Debbie and Frito-Lay and Pepsi and Coke. And you know what? They'll find ways to make slightly healthier products. They are multi-billion-dollar corporations. I don't have much sympathy for them. And even then, again, Frito-Lay, Coke, Pepsi have some great engineers. They'll find a way to make a product that's healthier, but they've got to have the incentives aligned for it. That's how corporations operate. They'd rather send people to the moon than build a train. I mean, FM says, make me pose or flex. You pick pose of choice, please flex your smile. Okay. Oh, whoa. Ooh, hey, that's not bad. Get them lats. Zone, good to see you. Don't tell my boss. All right, I won't. Hey, look, if it motivates you to do a better job at work, hey, company wins and you win. Build a train, build public transportation. So it's interesting you mentioned that. The Eisenhower administration was famously space skeptic. When Sputnik came around, The Eisenhower administration thought putting a man on a moon was folly. The only reason we went and did that is because the Kennedy administration made the promise and we made the moonshot, right? We did that by the end of the 60s. And by the way, if you're one of those people that believes the moon landing was fake, I got a bridge in Brooklyn to sell you if you're gullible and you've been scammed. But I'm just telling you, I've literally been an intern for Johnson Space Center. That shit was real. It's amazing how much engineering went into it, but yeah, we did put a guy on the moon. But the Eisenhower administration also made what I think was the single worst piece of legislation passed after World War II, and that is the Interstate Highways Act of 1956. People like to sit here and say that the interstate highways is an engineering marvel of the world, and that it did much to improve the United States, and I could not disagree more. What the interstate highways did was federally subsidize traffic via the automobile. It was a massive gift to the automotive industry. And it was also a massive gift to the trucking industry. What does this mean? Well, it induced demand for ever further out suburbs, which increased demand for oil and gas because, right, think about it, it was the 50s. This was the time when gas was extremely cheap, so people kept buying bigger and bigger cars with bigger and bigger engines. Go look at some of the cars built in the 60s in the United States. They're beautiful. Like, God, a 1964 Cadillac Fleetwood is one of the most beautiful cars ever built, but it's powered by a 472 cubic inch V8 that gets 10 miles to the gallon if you are babying the throttle. That's insane. That's not what we're looking for. Even basic cars were powered by 5-6 liter V8s back then. And of course they were carbureted, and they were using leaded gasoline, which damaged the IQ of anyone who lived near these brand new interstate highways that were funded by federal taxpayer money. If we hadn't done that, right, and by the way, we also, as a result, massively subsidized trucking, which means a lot of railroads started failing in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, which means the industry began to consolidate. And the industry began to pick only the most profitable routes to keep. As a result, just one more lane, bro, exactly. But as a result, we now have an oligopoly in the railroad system, right? We have Union Pacific, CSX, BNSF, and Norfolk Southern as the four. They're called the Big Four. They're really the only four Class 1 railroads that dominate the United States. And they've more or less agreed to divide the country in half, so it's a duopoly most of the time. Now that's not a free market. If you're a capitalist, you should be vomiting at the sound of that. And it's because we subsidized the automobile, which made a lot of the smaller Class 1 railroads uncompetitive. Because as it turns out, right, we were also taxing the shit out of the railroads in the 50s. So we were taxing railroads and subsidizing trucking. It's no fucking wonder that as a result, U.S. rail cargo miles began to flatten in the 50s and decline, whereas trucking miles went through the fucking roof. Like, of course it went that way. It was such a bad piece of legislation. Not to mention, interstate highways often, right, were built right through the downtowns and shredded downtown communities. Most of which, predictably, right, to build this brand new spanking interstate highway, well, they weren't going to displace the wealthy white people, so what'd they do? They built it in the black neighborhoods. So the black neighborhoods got hit with all that new pollution, most of which, again, till 1972, was leaded gasoline, which is a known neurotoxin, right? All that new pollution. Property values got shredded because who the fuck wants to live next to an interstate, just traffic and honking horns all the damn time? You could no longer walk from one side of the neighborhood to the other because you had a giant fucking highway going by. You had and that underpass is where criminals are going to develop and where you're going to have homeless encampments, and who the fuck wants to walk there? No sane person would. So it's a lot of knock-on effects. Everybody thinks, oh, the interstate highways is such a great idea. We spent the equivalent of about $500 billion on that just in the 50s and 60s, adjusted for inflation. If we had put that into high-speed rail, and I hate to admit it because I'm not much of a fan of central planning, but we had nationalized the U.S. rail system in the 50s and put that kind of money into U.S. rail, holy crap. Oh my God, it would have been world-changing. Not to mention, remember I was talking about all that inflation in the 70s? It was caused by an oil shock. Well, All that oil shock was caused by a giant increase in demand in oil in the 50s and 60s because everybody started driving cars that were less and less efficient, more and more miles, as cities began to spread outwards instead of staying condensed. It's no fucking shocker. When 1973 came around, we had gotten fully addicted to driving everywhere in 10, 12 miles per gallon V8 powered cars. Like, it doesn't surprise me. There are plenty. I'm a huge car guy. Just full disclosure, I love cars, but there's a difference between whipping a car out on, twisty country roads, like a little Mazda Miata on those twisty country roads, or letting a Corvette or Challenger go full fucking throttle on a remote, Nevada or Utah highway, versus the stop and go, unpleasant, strode infested commutes we mostly deal with. Now, based on where I work, I have to own a car. I don't have much choice in the matter. If I tried to bike to my workplace, I'd get turned around at the side gates and they'd tell me to go home because it's unsafe. And they'd be right, because it's a 55-mile-an-hour road with no shoulders. Doing so would be damn near suicidal. So instead, because I have to own a car, I've tried to pick a very efficient one. So what kind of car do I have? This is my baby. It's a 2017 Chevrolet Volt. It's perfectly fine. We're kind of up against it, so I can't really show it too well, but it's a very affordable car. If you wanted to buy one used, you could get one in pretty good condition for a little over $10,000, which, if you're middle class, is about what you probably want to pay for a used car. It's got about 50 miles of range, and then beyond that, it's got a 4-cylinder engine that gets 40 to 45 miles to the gallon. If you're a local commuter and your commute isn't ridiculously long, if it's less than 25 miles one way, you're basically never going to use gas. You have a fully electric car that, if you need to go on a long road trip, you get all the benefits of a gasoline car. So, especially if you live where I do, like in the South, where a public charging infrastructure isn't really that reliable yet, this thing's perfect. I misheard that, 50 miles of range. Ha! No, 50 miles of range. But this is exactly what I'm talking about. And this kind of links back to the whole financial independence thing. You have to design and engineer your life in such a way as to where you internalize the locus of your control. It's a stoicism mindset, right? So I cannot control worldwide oil prices. Literally no one, not even the president, controls oil prices. No one has a big lever that says gas prices will be low or gas prices will be high. That's not how that works. Even OPEC doesn't control oil prices all on their own. At least not anymore. It's not the 70s. The United States produces a shit ton of oil. What does that mean? Well, if you don't control it, you need to reduce how affected you can be by it. So, it's in the same way that I'm trying to reduce how intense I get about A&M football because it's not good for me to stress out like that over something I can't control. In the same way, I don't want to stress out about paying at the pump, so I've chosen an efficient vehicle. Better still, if you can choose a motorcycle or a moped or an e-bike to get around without ever owning a car, boom, you've just demolished your insurance costs, your maintenance costs, your gasoline costs, and the cost to buy one. It's a huge, huge deal. If you live, for instance, especially if you live in a city like Los Angeles, and in the state of California, lane splitting is legal, you would have to be a madman to own a car over a bike. Why wouldn't you pick one? A bike is the perfect thing for that city. It is extremely flat. The weather is about perfect almost all year long. Gas prices are extremely high. And the cost to insure and the cost to register your vehicle in the state of California and in Los Angeles County is also really high. Why on earth wouldn't you pick a bike, right? Even if it's a moped or even if it's an e-bike, that's still going to be miles cheaper than any automobile, even an efficient one like a Prius or a Volt or even a Tesla if you want to go full electric. You have to think rationally. And if you want to live in a place where you can, whip your car all around and if you're a fan of driving, maybe Los Angeles isn't the place for you. What happened to your knee, or is that just the lighting? Oh no, my floor mat's kind of dirty. I need to sweep it up, and I was doing push-ups, and so I got on my knees to start it before I started repping out push-ups. I don't do knee push-ups, but you start out on your knees before you kind of go into it. And the same thing like with a plank. Yeah, it's just dirt. Don't worry about it. Yeah, I need to clean up in here. I actually have a ton of yard work today. That's more or less going to be what I do all day long. My neighbor's got a shit ton of vines and such on her side of the property, and I can't control that, but it's like Virginia creeper and kudzu, and so I gotta cut it out, get it out of my land. I wasn't doing knee push-ups. There was nothing wrong with knee push-ups. I'm just saying I wasn't doing them. But yeah, just doing a bunch of different exercises, like, doing my planks. I got a little bit of dirt on my elbows too. God made dirt, so dirt don't hurt. Zombie proverb. It's not a bad one. But yeah, I've got a bunch of vines and all sorts of shit like that to trim back. I raked up a couple weeks ago all the leaves under my big old oak tree. It's getting to October, so that's going to start dumping. So I'm going to also try and trim away the branches. Got to trim some hedges in the front yard. I've got a mimosa tree that I cut down, but I still haven't gotten the stump out, so I need to work on the stump. I've got a couple bushes I want to get rid of in the front yard because they're attracting mosquitoes, and I'd rather that just be either grass or even just rock. It's a little bit just more convenient that way. A rock bed, yeah, a rock bed's not pretty, but a rock bed is also a lot lower maintenance. Yard work is tomorrow. Today was leg day. I ain't doing shit the rest of the day. See, I got leg day tomorrow, and that's when the A&M game is. A&M's playing Alabama, and that's going to be a hell of a matchup. It's in Kyle Field, too, so I think, cautiously optimistic. I think we're going to play them tough. I don't think we're going to win. I think it'll be, I would guess, if I had to predict it, I'd guess Alabama by 7, maybe 10. I think everybody likes to make hype about Alabama maybe finally falling off, and as long as Coach Saban's there, Alabama will be a force to be reckoned with. And I don't think A&M's that good yet. I think we're all right. We're not a bad team, but I don't think we've quite hit that next level. I'm hoping I'm wrong. I'd love to be proven wrong. We look good against Arkansas. We look good against Auburn, but Auburn doesn't have a functioning pass game, and Arkansas is beat to hell, and their offensive line is pretty poor. It's a shame, too, because KJ Jefferson is one hell of a quarterback. There we go. I'm going to just move the phone. Let's make sure. Let's check the markets one more time, and then we'll probably look to rate someone, unless we have other questions. Oh, my back. See what the market's got for us, and it's oh, hold up, it's turning green. Huh. It's like NASDAQ's carrying, but S&P's more or less flat now. Dow is slightly down. It's not bad. Everything's looking mostly flat, slightly green. All right, so I think that's more or less all I've got for today. We're going to do a few more questions. If you guys have any other questions, could be about anything. Could be about financial fitness, optimization, the plans for the streams, the plans for the server, what's coming up in the future, diet, exercise, you name it. Otherwise, we're going to probably look for someone to raid here. Stars and bars, Coel. Do I want Coel or do I want Supernatural? Deciding decisions. let's flip. Instead of a coin, I have, we've got heads, there's a mark above the P. Tails, there's no mark above the P. Well, have I ever lived in a leftist city? No. Fam, I went to college at Texas A&M University, which is one of the most conservative public universities in the country. George H.W. Bush, the father, not the son, has his presidential library there. Then moved to a rural town in Texas called Greenville, which is outside of Dallas. It's in Hunt County. And now I live in rural South Carolina. I think this town voted for Trump in 2020 like 92%. So, yeah, nah. I live out in the sticks. That's the other reason I really don't like suburban sprawl and cars. I want to be left the fuck alone. If I want to either live urban or rural. And because I live out here in the sticks, I don't want to be encroached upon by a bunch of suburbanites who demand, HOAs and all this kind of bullshit. Right? I can sit out here and make my own wine and moonshine and all sorts of stuff. I don't want any of this suburban bullshit. No, so the answer to your question is, I have never lived in a very liberal area. It actually landed against the wall, so it was kind of leaning up, so I'm gonna have to do that again. All right, so let's go. Heads supernatural, tails coel runnings. Here we go. I'm not a big breakfast eater. My trainer keeps getting after me. Right now, only having an apple. If I eat more, I'll get bubble gut. Any recs for nutrition-filling food, preferably vegan? You're asking the wrong guy because I seldom eat breakfast either. Now, I did have a protein shake today. Usually I'll have my protein powder after a workout. I just happen to have it during my workout this time, but I'm afraid I'm the wrong person to ask about that. I'm also very much not vegan. Hey, more power to you if you are vegan. That's a tough road to hoe if you want to get, vegan bodybuilders are guys I have a ton of respect for, but no. I live in the rural deep south. I don't have much options when it comes to anything vegan. Even vegetarian around here is looked like as a dirty word. Not to mention pork is extremely cheap. So I eat a lot of pork, to put it mildly. Okay, so same thing. Heads, P. Heads, there's a little silver piece over the P. Tails, there isn't. All right? Heads for coel runnings, tails for supernatural. Looks like it's coel. Yes, I caught it so it didn't bounce. I caught it briefly and then dropped it again because I didn't want it to go flying. We did last time. Okay, so we're gonna go check his channel. Okay, yeah, he's not about to go anywhere. Cool. So we're gonna raid coel running. So do we have any other last questions? So raid message. Bull rush. Yeah, hating, if you want to ask me more questions along those lines, I think we've run out of time today. Come check me out on my Discord and ask me whatever you'd like. Ah! Shush. All right. That is going to be it. Oh, I'm going to be live again tomorrow at 9 a.m. Am I ready to have a fantabulous day? I lifted. I'm already having a great one. So we're going to go ahead and raid Mr. Coel. And I would just like to say again, as always, make good decisions, y'all. It's good decisions form your habits. As habits form your values. As value form an ethos. That ethos can be the guide star that gets you through the rough waters of life. Much love, y'all. Come in for the raid. Big hug. And raid ski. All right, YouTube, always good to see you. Take it easy.